So I'm all set up at the Durrington Steam Show, so I'll just show you inside the craft tent. Hello.
Hello.
And welcome back.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
It has been indeed. Been a busy few weeks though.
And eventful too.
Yes.
Show them.
Lots happening.
Show them. Tell them how you did it.
Broken fingers. On the dog lead.
Yeah. Yeah, dog lead. So it was on an extended lead. We were doing some puppy training in one of the classes.
Yeah. The lead was all wrapped between my fingers. Bertie decided he saw a swallow and thought, that's more interesting. And he ran. Instead of grabbing the lead with my left hand, I thought that's going to burn because it's nylon lead. And instead it ended up breaking one finger in 3 places and the other one a hairline fracture.
Yeah. So that's been challenging. We're Julie trying to paint with broken fingers.
Really hard. And also had a show in the middle of it as well to do, and so it's been hectic.
It has, and obviously the show, Julie has to then take all her stuff down in the back of the car. She has to unload the car, put the stuff up, all with broken fingers. Normally I'd go along to help, but obviously I've got 2 dogs that we can't take anywhere because they're still puppies and still quite boisterous.
And actually we can't fit them in the car with all my stock anyway.
So that makes it challenging.
So it's been busy, but they're on the mend, which is a good thing. Another couple of weeks and they'll be good as new.
Yeah. So in this video, this is probably the video we did really want to make, isn't it? Because
it is. We've ummed and ahed whether to show the footage, but in the end we've decided, look, not all life on the canal is rosy.
No. And we were at great pains to effectively, we had an altercation with a boat, and we weren't sure whether to show the footage or not, but in the end we decided we were going to hide the gentleman's identity so that you couldn't see his face. That just seemed fair, I suppose, rather than showing the world who he was.
Name and shame.
Yeah, we wanted to show, but we didn't want to name and shame. So, but Julie will pick up the story. Julie will give you the story.
Yes, so what actually happened? We were cruising along, and in the distance we could see a holiday narrowboat coming up towards the bridge. And because we're a larger boat, we're a little bit more courteous, aren't we? We always stop in good time.
Yeah.
And, there's no good playing chicken through a bridge. We'd much rather wait a little bit longer and let that boat come through nice and safely, rather than get into the stage where you don't know who's giving way to who. So we were coming past some residential moorings and we saw the boat coming towards the bridge. We decided to pull over to the right a little bit more to give them enough room to get through the bridge and past us.
Or for those aficionados, starboard side.
Or starboard side. As we pulled over, we were about 6 foot away from the residential moorings, and a lady in a narrowboat poked her head out of the duck hatch. And
side hatch. You'll annoy Dave and Heather.
Oh, I will annoy Dave and Heather. They poked their nose out of the side hatch and asked us if we were mooring. And I said, no, we're waiting for a boat to come through the bridge. And then I joked and said, you always meet them at the wrong time. And she turned round to me and said, that's because you shouldn't be on this canal. Which took me by surprise. So I said, pardon? She said, you shouldn't be on this canal. You're a Widebeam and you shouldn't be on here. It wasn't built for Widebeam boats. So I did tell her that if she went to have a look at a fantastic exhibition at Honey Street Mill, she would see that the Kennet and Avon Canal is very, very much built for wide beam boats. In fact, it was built for boats much, much wider than us.
At this point, Julie had, obviously the boat had moved slightly forward, and I was now level with the woman, and I explained to her that she needed to go and have a look at the pictures of Unity, which was launched in 1885, and I will put some pictures of Unity up so that you can see it. And it was 2 double-decker lengths and wider than a tank. And I explained that this boat used to go to Bristol and back, and that's the reason why the canal is a wide beam canal. It's an 1885 boat, and it had a sister boat as well. I can't remember what its name was. So if anybody out there knows the sister boat, drop it in the comments below. But I pointed out to her that a boat that big would not be able to get through unless it was a wide beam canal.
Well, she wouldn't have any of it. She kept shouting at us, saying we shouldn't be on this canal.
And bearing in mind, this is her first contact with us. So this is not a good morning, how are you, what a lovely day. This is good morning, why are you here? You shouldn't be on this canal. That's your opening statement. So straight away, we knew we were dealing with somebody that was slightly aggressive.
Yeah, and very much anti-wide beam. And that was noted very much by her partner, who then came up the back of the boat, and remembering by this time the narrow boats that we were allowing to go through the bridge had actually gone way past us.
You'll see it in the footage. I'll show you in the footage, because he shouts at me that I need to learn to navigate. No, well, I'm not quite sure what he's asking me to learn. We moved over safely for the narrow boat. We hovered safely 6 feet away from their boat. We didn't hit any other boats, including theirs, and we let the narrow boat pass. He then proceeded to tell me that I needed to take my floating apartment elsewhere.
Lots of rude words around it, so we haven't shown all the footage.
Yeah, we had to cut quite a lot out. And I will apologise if I sound quite loud at the back, but he really did. Let's just say he really did rile me. I don't normally shout very loudly, and it takes quite a lot for me to get angry. But he riled me so much with the fact that we were minding our own business. We weren't doing anything wrong. We hadn't done anything wrong. We hadn't touched his boat. And this was how they wanted to talk to us and how they wanted to treat us. So I said a few things to him, and I told him that he needed to get over it himself. And I explained to him again about Unity, the wide beam barge at Honey Street. And again, he pointed out to me that 2 narrowboats, the locks were designed for 2 narrowboats to go in, to which I pointed out that 2 narrowboats strapped together is 14 foot and we're only 11 foot, so we're actually narrower than 2 narrowboats. And he then pointed out to me that the locks were designed for 2 narrowboats so they didn't waste water, to which I pointed out, well, what happens when 1 narrowboat goes into the lock? Because we don't waste water every time we go in the lock because we're wide.
I must admit, it really did shake me up, because I've never met anyone so aggressive. You know, you meet people that are argumentative, but I've never met anyone so aggressive. So much so that he was shouting, swearing at us, telling us that we should take our wide beam elsewhere, being really quite nasty. And then he proceeded to chase after us.
Down the towpath. You'll see that in the footage. And that was when he pointed out to me vigorously from the towpath that I should have let the other narrowboat pass. He's delusional, because the other narrowboat, you can see in the footage, passes us, and you can see it going off into the distance behind our boat. So I don't quite know what it is he wanted me to do. I do know what it is he wanted me to do. He actually wanted me to vanish. Yeah,
he didn't very much, and he very much made it known. He did not like wide beams going past his boat.
So I made a point of, because he came and took a photograph of our licence number. Now, I'm not quite sure what that's going to benefit him, unless he wants to complain to the CRT, but it's a your word against mine. So I'm not quite sure why, but I told him, feel free to take as many photographs as you like, because we've got you on video. Yeah. He then proceeded to tell us that if we put him on YouTube, that he would sue. So we're going to cover his face. So you don't know who he is, and we're not identifying him. That's that simple. But I think you need to see the footage, because it's important, as Julie said, that we show all aspects.
We're not going to show you all the footage. We have got all the footage, just in case we ever need it. We're not going to show it all to you, because it's just too rude.
Yeah, and too upsetting, to be honest.
Too upsetting, yeah.
So there.
So enjoy.
Yeah, enjoy.
Good morning. So here we are. We were moored at Horton for a couple of days. We're moving on though because it's only a 2-day mooring, and also the dogs were getting stung. There's a wasp's nest just around the corner, and both Bertie and Ernie got stung by the wasp, so we're going to move off. We're going to head down towards maybe Wilcott. Probably about 8 miles today. I've already driven the car 4 miles in that direction, and then we walked back to the boat. And now we'll move the car further. No, now we'll move the boat further than the car. It's a lot of toing and froing, but we'll get there. Let's see what it's like today. Well, it sounds like there's a lawnmower here, and at last, the towpath. We'll show you some photos of the towpath. Absolutely crazy. You could only actually get the bike wheel through. You couldn't actually walk through it yourself. I had to walk backwards through the brambles. Well, it certainly gets a little bit narrow on the Canal. So my first job of the day is, as soon as we get round this bend, there will be a swing bridge.
Just to get it going.
That's it, yeah. Some of them are quite hard, aren't they?
Yeah, oh, some are really tough.
Yeah.
Really tough. Where's that go, mate?
It's crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah, I walked our car to all Cannings yesterday and then walked back.
Yeah,
and
well, we just done that. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Really beautiful.
Yeah.
The crown looks nice.
Yeah. So because we moved the car 4 miles in front of us and then walked back last night, we actually know all the boats and everything that we're going to be passing today, and there's a lot of moored boats. I think mooring is probably going to be quite difficult at the moment. We're in the Long Pound, which is 15 miles of no locks, and people like to come here mainly because a lot of the hire boats stay down the Bradford and Avon and Bath area, and so this end seems to be a little bit quieter, and obviously it's easier because you don't have to go through the locks. One of the spots where we actually parked the car at all Cannings, we know it's incredibly busy. I counted 19 boats, and that was not on the visitor moorings, that was before the visitor moorings. Then there was the visitor moorings that were full, and then beyond there was full. So there's going to be quite a few boats to go by today, and lots of tick over going on. The sun is finally out again. We had about 2 weeks where the sun was in the 30s, so really quite hot for the UK. And we were all complaining about the weather, as we do very much here in Britain. And then from that week, we've had nothing but rain and cold, thunderstorms. And now finally the sun has come out again, which is really nice. Still quite chilly though. A lot of boats had their fires on last night. We didn't. We weren't going to give in. And you can see off in the distance, that's Pewsey Downs. Now this is normally a quiet stretch of the canal. You can see the reeds are really high. They're about 8-9 foot on either side. So you can't really moor here. You do see lots of wildlife. And this is normally the spot where you actually go quite blind. You can't see what's coming. If you think I'm at the front of the boat and I can see a little way ahead, Mark's at the back and all he will see is just green. So it's tricky to know where the canal goes. When you see that little tree, so I've just told Mark what direction the canal bends in, because as you can see, it's really difficult to tell from the front because it's just a massive green. And from the back you can't see anything at all. It does really narrow here. It's not the canal that narrows, it's actually the reeds and the overgrowth that has narrowed the canal. And you can hear the reeds are actually touching the boat on both sides. So that tells you the gap. Our boat's 11 foot and we're pushing the reeds back on both sides. So about 4 years ago now, on this narrow stretch where all the reeds were, we passed Narrowboat Girl in their narrowboat. So we had to all squeeze in, and I think it was probably one of their first trips out of the marina, and certainly their start of their continuous cruising. Leave it. Ernie, leave it. Go and lay down. Ernie's chewing up a cardboard box. So the canal narrows here a little bit, where there used to be a swing bridge but isn't there anymore. I've just made the sign to mark that it's a swing bridge or an unused swing bridge. We have our own sign language on the front of the boat. Just get a glimpse of the Pewsey Downs in the distance there. We're hoping we might make it to Pewsey today, so fingers crossed, because I don't think there are going to be many moorings before there. I do love this view, it's beautiful. Always happens at the wrong time, doesn't it?
Not attached to anything, so. Oh look, that's doing it for us. There you go. They're moving you forward. Oh yeah. That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Bit of a tight bridge to come under here. Bridge 128. Massive overhanging tree on one side. So we're going to have to breathe in.
Tree needs trimming back, really.
Horrendous, isn't that?
I mean, it must be out at nearly 10 foot at the bridge.
Yeah, on both sides as well. You're okay.
I've cut one back just a bit further up where I'm moored, a little bit of a tree, but that's don't know how to go along the side, isn't it? With
Yeah,
a
that's
strimmer,
it.
really.
That's
I reckon
it.
that'd be alright. Hiya.
Oh yeah,
Love your fan.
thank you. Well, I can honestly say I've never seen this canal so bad. It's so overgrown, and it's happened just this summer. I mean, it's been a continuous thing for a number of years now, but it's certainly a lot worse this summer. Now this is a really unusual looking boat. As you can see, there's lots of moored boats today, especially around Ord Cannings, which is quite a popular area. The next popular spot is Honey Street, and I expect that to be just as busy. So as I say, I think Honey Street is probably going to be really busy too. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can fill up with some water there, and then we'll go a little bit further on. We actually can't just moor up in the middle of the countryside this week. I've got a meeting in Tilshead, she says, as we're going past an overhanging tree. I've got a meeting in Tilshead on Thursday, and Friday we've got some dog training to do. So it's going to be a busy week, and we need access to the car. So we need to find a mooring spot where there is access to a bridge where we can actually park our car. So here I am in the village of Tilshead. I'm going to have a meeting in the village hall with the parish council to do a walking map. So I'm going to be doing a painting here that's going to go in the village next to the village hall. Let me show you the village hall. So this is the village hall, and my painting's going to go here somewhere. Lovely.
I was hoping to get through before you had to go through the bridge.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day for a beautiful boat.
It is.
We're going to go to the bridge for that.
Oh, nice.
We just had a Dutch barge.
And this is the start of the Honey Street moorings. So it'll probably go on for about half a mile to a mile, I think. So it's definitely busy, and we're not stopping here.
And if you remember on our last video in 2019,
2019.
we haven't really shown the dogs in our last couple of videos, and I suppose we've sort of got out of the habit, because with Eric we used to show him every week. Well, we've had loads and loads and loads of comments from people saying, where are the dogs? We want to see the dogs. So we've decided to give up vlogging and just get the dogs to take over instead.
You'll be surprised how big they've grown.
Yeah, they have.
in fact, we can't believe it ourselves. They seem to have shot up overnight.
No, I'm pretty sure that when we bought the dogs, they told us that they were Merle Collie crosses, not Shire horses.
Do you think?
Yeah. But so we're going to put some footage of the dogs in so you can see them at play. They like to rough and tumble, as you probably will be aware. Two brothers, puppies of a certain age, they like to rough and tumble from the moment they wake up. So there's a bit of rough and tumble in this, which I think is quite interesting and quite amusing for you to see. Come on then, play football.
Come in the kitchen.
Hey, come on then. In the kitchen, in the galley, you mean?
Whilst I'm cooking.
Okay. Say hello to the audience. Say hello to everybody. Say hello. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't chew my trousers. What's this? What's this? Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing? What you up to, Stinky? Hey, what you up to? Oh. But don't knock it over. Don't sit on it either. Oh my goodness me.
Don't know if you can see this. Idiot. What a nasty, nasty man. Nasty man. What? So, what a horrible person. They didn't like wide-beam boats, so they told us we should get off this canal. So I don't know if you heard any of that. I've never met anybody like it, I really haven't. It looks like all of us YouTubers are getting some abuse at the moment. Apparently we should bugger off of this canal, as it's not a wide beam canal. The Kennet and Avon Canal is very much a wide beam canal. It was built for huge boats. And he's still coming. He's still coming. He's still coming. He's actually following us. He's following us. So thank you for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
If you like the video, if you can give it a thumbs up, she says. I look like I'm...
Yeah. Yeah, so if you can give it a thumbs up, that'd be great. Don't forget to subscribe. It's free to do so. If I can persuade my dad to subscribe, and he's been holding out on me for the last 18 months, then I'm sure I can persuade some of you to subscribe as well. Unless, of course, you hate the channel, in which case, don't subscribe. But then if you hate it, why are you watching? Unless you want to give me a thumbs down, that's why you're watching. I digress. Don't forget to click the bell icon, which is there. That will give you future notifications of when we post new videos.
And don't forget to comment. We love to hear your comments.
Especially if you know what the sister barge to Unity was called.
Yes.
Because I did research it, and between researching it and sitting down to do this video, I've forgotten.
You've forgotten. Oh,
You wouldn't get that kind of trash on Foxes Afloat, would you?
you wouldn't.
They'd do it properly.
It'd be rehearsed.
Rehearsed, they'd reshoot until they got it right.
Not us.
Nope, not us. We are literally the Poundland of vloggers.
Anyhow,
Yeah.
we'll see you, hopefully, fingers crossed, or maybe
Well,
not.
don't cross them.
Maybe not.
Cross the other hand.
Next week.
Yeah, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.